find someone, anyone. Don't you sit there. 5 seconds remaining. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Who breathes life into these old stones? You God.
Prepare for battle.
Yes. I'll get 'em. Rolling
30
stone.
seconds to battle.
Never been more assured that this one is in the bag.
Rock on. Gee, thanks. I gather no loss. Going.
Time for some entertainment.
Rolling out. Hard times coming. Rolling. Forward. Sure. Right away. Tiny, coming in. Head for the quarry. Of course. Yeah. Rolling out. I'm under attack. We've a quarry to settle. Rolling stone. Head for the quarry. Tiny smash. No hard feelings. Rolling. Yes. Get up. Going. I gather no. Rock on. Forward. Of course. Forward. My favorite quarry. Nothing. Sure. No goal for you. You got it. A rolling stone. Rock'em sock'em. Yeah. Tiny. Going. Rock on. I just can't miss. Rolling out. Right away. Stone. I gather no denied. Attack. Head for the quarry. Tiny coming in. Head for the quarry. It's hard to be this good. Yes. Sure. I gather no. Rolling.
Bountiful.
Forward. Right away. Rock on.
Nice.
Pathetic.
Rolling out. You haven't got the stone. Of course. I gather no loss. Yes. Going. Rolling out. Not yet. Right away. Forward. Rock on. Tiny, come in. the quarry! Rolling! Sure. Right away. Rolling stone. Rock on.
They're attacking your bottom tower. Radiant have fortified their structures. Weaklings.
Offending close.
The enemy's top tower is down.
Rolling stone. Rolling. Tiny, coming in.
Dire have fortified their structures. Say goodbye to the enemy's bottom tower.
Head for the quarry.
Haste.
You got it.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Double kill.
rolling stone. I capstone. Yes. Head for the quarry. Oh, thanks a lot. Sure. Going. Of course. Rock on. Going.
I see you've destroyed the enemy's top tower.
Every coin helps.
Get him! Rock on!
Dire just fortified their structures.
Head for the quarry!
Illusion!
Right away.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. Radiant just fortified their structures. Protect your middle tower. Should have protected your middle tower.
A rolling stone. Rolling. Head for the quarry. Forward. Yes.
They're attacking your bottom tower. Your top tower is under attack.
That wasn't nice.
Those people had families.
Don't harm my headstone yet. Rolling.
We'll feast on that. Eludes me.
They're attacking your bottom tower. The assault on your bottom tower has begun. Your bottom tower has fallen. It's okay. Towers make you weak. You don't need them. Your bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
One stone, not two birds. I gather no loss. Hard currency.
Bountiful.
Rock on. A rolling stone. Head for the quarry.
Dire just fortified their structure. Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower has fallen. Bottom barracks under attack. Your bottom barracks have fallen. Your top tower has fallen. Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower is under attack. Were you counting on your top tower being there? The enemy dares attack your middle tower?
Rock and a
Your top tower is under attack.
Forward.
Your middle tower has fallen.
Yes.
Protect your middle tower. See your middle tower? No, you don't, because it's gone.
A rolling stone.
Your middle barracks have fallen. That certainly never happened to me.
Rock on. Tiny, coming in.
Roshan's dead. Not exactly a tragedy.
Rolling out. Rolling. My favorite quarry. You got it.
They're attacking your middle barracks. Your middle barracks have fallen. Your top tower
You're actually somewhat happy about that. You got a track kill. You got another galvanized stack coming out there for Lewis.
Radiant have
He is the hero that
fortified
matters the
their
most at this
structures.
moment. And this is
If your
accelerating
ancient
his
falls,
BKBs. You have to
consider
be
me
weary
unimpressed.
of just giving an opportunity back, even on support kills with track. That snowball effect is somewhat kicking in. At least it's only the level 1 track. Not quite yet. Level 2 here for Shank. Still a ways off from that one. But now the timings are coming in for BBT. And that Deso, Blink, Dragonlance is set to go. You can start to look for fights. You can start to hope to translate that into Roshan. Maybe even the movement out onto some of these tier 1s. Tier 1 mid is the one that's kind of blocking the way right now on the side of BB team. And for Exe, you can't afford to rest really. Right? Like, with this bounty hunter and with the success we saw them run with on day 1, it's all about keeping that pressure up. They've been pretty good at it so far. They're going to need to keep it going. The moment you take a break to farm, you're just ceding ground to BB team, who has, again, done spectacularly here with Pure and the way he's just working through all of these camps.
We haven't really talked about Tino much, have we, John? Tino's been relatively quiet. He's third. He can pretty much hunt anyone he wants right now. Maybe not Miero, in fairness, but certainly the support's not going to be feeling very good about their chance. Harassment onto power, walks away. It's the message being sent. You know, it's not a safe lane for power.
Certainly not. I think the one thing you do have here for Execration as well is the vision game has been pretty on point. Really nice aggressive wards up top in that jungle, keeping watch if anyone's walking up for the bounty rune or just farming in that general area. They've got level 6 up now as well on Shanks. So they are ready to really get that snowball going. You want to start to really find these track kills. Keep that start rolling for yourself. Get the initial build-up you'd want. Getting some activity out on Tino as well. Successful activity. Can set up nicely here for that earlier timing on the Veno. Maybe looking for the Orchid build-up. A lot more damage coming out when you can find that.
You are. Hunted again by Shanks. No sentries around. They'll dust him up. They know that Shanks is around somewhere, but Lewis, he's going to jump in this time around onto Pure. They're going to cut Omi instead. In fact, trying to go for the easier kill, but the Hex out. Lewis is down. Pure will secure the kill. Oh, it's a horrible fight for Execration. EB team just bring practically everybody up to the top lane to ensure they pull off that team fight. Execration not going to be too happy with that.
A really nice sentry being set up by BB team as well earlier on, spotting that movement in, and maybe kind of baiting them with the dust usage as well. So they'll figure perhaps, you know, there's no sentry there. They'll try that move again. It's going to be punished. They're going to need to somehow get a D-ward, or they can't rely on Shanks. They're looking elsewhere now, though.
Miero, he's a hard target. They are going to give it a crack, though. And Miero, he'll get the repel off for now. Has the Guardian Angel if he needs it. Miero's still surviving because the TPs will come in. There's your Guardian Angel now committed. It's Kataomi with the rebound down. Lewis, though, not giving up, looking for the track kills. And they've got both of them. That's something you can't forget. More track kills for Lewis, you've got to be careful about that.
That more than compensates for that movement up top now as well. You get your Galvanized back up to 7, you get a lot of gold. Getting that activity you're looking for on Shanks. And you are even bleeding some gold back to Palos because he's around for those track kills. So this Radiant's timing, considering the slower lane, isn't going to feel as slow as it would be. For the side of BB team, they've been really good with punishment. They've been getting that form on. Pure still #1 in that word. It just feels like this activity from GPK has been a lot more subdued. Maybe they'll try to get something done now. Level 2 chains up with a maxed out shield. Could go for some easy pickoffs.
Well, they're going to find CML, and that's certainly an easy one. GPK more than happy to secure that for himself, and in fairness to GPK, he did have a rough laning stage. He's just trying to get that blade mail up before he really gets too involved, but still trying at the very least to join his team when necessary. 8-11 now, very slight net worth lead the way of Execration. Obviously is starting to slowly get out of control here on this TA. Top of the net worth board by far. Palos nowhere near him at the moment. Chances are you're not really going to catch up until you have perhaps just the Radiance on this Abaddon.
Yeah, you're not expecting it to. You have to understand on the side of Execration that with that failed attempt on Pure, he is just going to snowball. Dragonlance already up, going to the first jump up.
They are going to jump into the bounty, but Lewis is here to back them up. Very nice chain frost. GPK will just remnant out. Miero picked up the shield rune anyway. They don't miss out on a power rune, but they will hand another kill over to Lewis. And these are the things, if you're BB team, you've got to be wary of these tracks. They start to add up, and suddenly Lewis back on the top of the net worth.
That he is. 8 Galvanized stacks to play with. Already has the full Kaya as well. So a lot more output here from our Storm. And for the side of BB team, that control is reliant on follow-through from, say, Save here. Like, that's your big bottom on Execration. It's your big punishment for Lewis that we've seen a couple of times now. If he does overextend. Again, the vision game coming out from Execration is just so clean. Look at the wards Shanks is dropping. Keep an eye on Pure. Farming still in that top area. They've got some good sentries as well, just to kind of block off, ensuring that if your Bounty Hunter will move, vision's still there. There are a couple of areas for BB team that can still spot out. The mid-roche is the big one, top side, and that can kind of cut off Shanks a bit. They've gotten some room now to just siege block with Palos.
Yeah, Miero getting a little bit excited here. Might need to look to retreat a little bit, though again, he does have his ulti ready. Palos will continue the chase. Kataomi is there with the rebound out if he needs it. Doesn't really seem like there's a big chance of Miero dying unless Lewis can catch somebody else who'll move on to Save, but he gets hexed up immediately. Save trying to run. GPK will move in with the chains down. Meanwhile, Palos still trying to just chase down the Shaman, but he might die for this if he's not too careful. He's dived very deep, Palos. We'll try to run back towards his side, and well, for now he's fine. Meanwhile, bottom CML has been caught. GPK finding a freebie. Looking at Palos now, and Palos, he's in the middle of nowhere. Went way too deep for the Shaman. Gets punished for it again.
Yeah, and they kind of split their targets there on Execration. Not really aiming for one or the other. It was a bit of a split choice out from Lewis and from Palos in terms of looking for that initiation. I know they were just trying to cut off the Shaman from getting control. Still kicks in anyhow without any kills coming in. it does feel like you'd really want to have
Radiant's
Tino
bottom tower
participating in
isn't
here.
looking
A
good.
lot of their early damage and a lot of their threatening slows, threatening output is on this Venomancer. Would say the Nox just played a good Gale out, burn usage as well. And Tino is just kind of camping up top, getting that build-up he'd want, but it is costing the team extra damage, extra output. The timing as well for Execration didn't quite pan out. They didn't have Chain Frost yet. They do have it now. They could try for another successful fight if BB team are clumped up.
And they're coming. Mine perhaps save. We'll jump in. That's a quick kill here on the save. The Kanomi was trying to move in, but can't quite get there in range for the rebound in time. Take that kill for himself on the bounty. Big concern though, if you are Exile, I mean, Pure is still just complete free farm on this TA. Uncontested, having a great old time. So if there's one man you can trust to carry the game for you, it's probably going to be Pure.
He's got that blink up. He's going to be able to get aggressive on that TA a little bit earlier. Desolator not too off the mark as well. 2K in, one Mithril Hammer already up at this point. And that's the key timing now for BB team. You know, you're already pretty tanky on Miero without really needing too much. Already one part into the Radiance as well. Once you get that Deso up on Pure, that's when you start to look for that pick-off into Roshan. That's where the tempo starts to kick in. Having that secondary life plus Guardian Angel and Repel on hand on the TA
Dire's
makes this a
middle
pretty
tower is under
complicated game for the side of Exa if they are going to try to keep running this run-and-gun style that they've been doing so far.
Miero. Even followed by Shanks.
Going to let their middle tower fall.
We'll be alright. It does take a long time to try and deal with that Omni Knight. And we'll see him again. Miero takes the Watcher, so now maybe they can hope for this because he's a bit out of position. Lewis will jump in. TPs are not coming to save Miero. He is all on his own here. He'll pop the Guardian Angel TP and the Kroger's getting involved just in case. Turns out he was never really in danger anyway, John.
No. That's just far enough.
Wards. Gonna jump back in. The Palace is not really moving. Kanaomi is gonna die. Palace, though, he made the choice to farm the wards instead of going for the southern wards and trying to run. I mean, maybe he just assumed he was just dead anyway, but certainly Palos not having the game one you would have hoped for if you're Execration.
No, certainly not. Bottom network core right now is Palos. Still a ways off from the Radiance. Again, kind of the same build-up that you're seeing from Miero, just a little bit more coming out from Miero, considering that he also went back for a soul ring and a bracer as well. For Palos, I think you're actually somewhat happy about that. You got a track kill. You got another Galvanized stack coming out there for Lewis. He is the hero that matters the most at this moment, and this is accelerating his BKB. I think you have to be weary of just giving an opportunity back, even on support kills with track. That snowball effect is somewhat kicking in. At least it's only the level 1 track, not quite yet. Level 2 here for Shanks, still a ways off from that one. But now the timings are coming in for BB. And that Deso, Blink, Dragonlance is set to go. You can start to look for fights, you can start to hope to translate that into Roshan, maybe even the movement out onto some of these tier 1s. Tier 1 mid, it's the one that's kind of blocking the way right now on the side of BB team. And for Exe, you can't afford to rest, really. Like, with this Bounty Hunter and with the success we saw them run with on day 1, it's all about keeping that pressure up. They've been pretty good at it so far. They're going to need to keep it going. The moment you take a break to farm, you're just ceding ground to BB team, who has, again, done spectacularly here with Pure and the way he's just working through all of these camps.
We haven't really talked about Tino much, have we, John? Tino's been relatively quiet. He's third in net worth right now on the Venomancer. How does the assault, the Crimson Guard going into the Hurricane fight? There is a point where maybe the Venom starts to become a somewhat of an issue. He gets enough items up.
Yeah. He has been, again, not really joining these connections, which down bot did cost him. The other times, not quite so much. That additional damage would be beneficial for the side of Execration. He is going for that full aura build, as you mentioned. The Dragonlance can be nice to just reapply Poison Sting, have maybe a little bit of spacing for yourself with the stats until the full Hurricane Pike is up. I will say, we haven't really felt his presence yet.
Lewis getting caught, not reacting quick enough. He will die, and so will CML. BB team were waiting for it. They knew he was coming for the creep wave, and sadly Lewis not reacting quick enough to zip back out of it.
No. And that's the kind of kill you can't afford to be giving here in Execration. Again, all your viewer momentum has been on the Storm. You want that build-up. At the least, he did manage to buy out the Mithril Hammer. So he's only having to wait for just the recipe now to get that full BKB, but this is the launching point for
Radiant
BB
just
Team. No
fortified
storm
their
to worry about, no
structures.
initiation to have to worry about. You can just kind of shove in. You got your first charge on the Deso up, although
Naomi looking for the rebound. Will get there, but is still going to die. Tino able to secure his Miero, just trying to TP away. Will be fine to do so. Execration still looking to chase. Not going to find the Shaman either. They do at least find Pure, who does get tracked before he gets through the twin gates, but they're not going to follow him through. We'll just take the freebie on a Kataomi and just leave it at that.
you can see how much damage Tino does when he is in the area. He did 1,000 damage straight up to Kataomi by himself. And that's what you kind of need. You need to
Radiant's
find a way
middle
to connect
tower has
onto
fallen.
Tino. Again, he's wanting to get the Hurricane Pike first, so if he is committed on with a rebound, he will have some counterplay. It's just,
Radiant's
you're
bottom
missing a
tower
little bit
is under
more in this
attack.
power spike here for Execration, whereas for BB Team, it's just getting stronger and stronger. They haven't been able to threaten onto the Roshan just yet, so that is a little bit of a blessing in disguise. But their timings are lining up. You've got your own Radiance on Miero. He's got this BKB timing coming in as well into the Blink. BKB as well coming up next for GPK, having the full Kaya Sanj up on top of things. It's a lot harder to burst down on that Ember. And now they make that move into the Roshan. Fairly obvious, the scan is there. The issue is, can Execration even run into that area at this point?
Roshan reload. Execration not going to be willing to give it up. They're moving in. Roshan still dropping, almost down, but not down. Shanks looking to move in, but can't get there. Pure, he's got the Aegis. CML already down. Lewis trying to go after the Shaman. Save. Okay for now with the Repel, and now the Shackle holding down Lewis and Pure from the low ground, getting some damage off, but not quite enough as he'll chase down Lewis. Lewis needs a way out, but he's been perma-stunned up. He will go down. They'll finally maybe find Save, though he's still shackling, still surviving. They'll finally take him down. Without your storm, can you really keep this fight going? Palos, he's trying to do so. Tino's doing so much damage over time. This Veno could be problematic, John. You can't just leave him alone the whole fight.
No, and again, this is the one thing that you were kind of lacking for Execration. Tino has not been able to connect too often to these fights. Would have used them a little bit earlier. They missed this opportunity as well to try to kind of get off their spells in the Roche Pit, right? Like getting a big Chain Frost in that area maybe changes that team fight. They're not able to jump in. Lewis was a little bit too far to try to zip into the pit as well. So not the ideal circumstances for Exe. You're still very happy on the side of BB Team, but you're also not getting that lead you'd want yet. Again, you've kind of front-loaded all of your gold onto Pure. Everyone else is relatively equal in net worth. Again, the biggest issue for Execration there is that they're just a little bit low on Lewis now. Again, if they make it into the Roche a little bit earlier, if you're not caught in the back with CML, a Chain Frost would have changed that fight, but they identify their targets very well in BB Team.
Absolutely do. Not a fantastic fight, but again, it's just the long kind of team fight. A little bit scary if Tino does get involved. And Save just surviving forever as well in that fight, I've got to say. Just so much pressure on trying to find this Shaman throughout these fights, just to ensure they can actually just not get disabled permanently is Save. The Shank's going to find Pure now. Dip in. Are they going to try for this? Pure has a 3-minute timer on the Aegis still, so he's looking pretty safe. Maybe they feel like he's alone. Well, a little blink away. Naomi right behind him just in case they need it. EB team now setting up for a fight. They know Execration. They were hanging around to Pure. He's going to jump in, trying to snipe CML. The CML does make it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Aims out onto Tino. They'd love the Veno first. It's a great target if they can get him. Tino in pretty big trouble. He'll survive for now. He'll get the ulti off in time and just Hurricane Pike away down the Chain Frost. That could be a little bit scary. BB team, can they get through it? They can for now. It's Palos. Palos in danger again. Palos, he's still going, he's still alive as Lewis gonna zip right through 4 of them. Where's the damage? Miero, he does go down. Kataomi will follow. Pure though trying to salvage. He'll take down Shanks, but he can't. We can do it, look. Lewis will lead. 2 for 3 trade in the favor of Execration so far as Pure. He still has the Aegis. Still happy to continue. Execration seems they've won the fight. Would love to just retreat now safely. They'll do so.
Again, it's a little bit dicey out for Execration. They did manage to get really good usage out from the Chain Frost, and it makes all the difference. It makes it so awkward for GPK to just try to hold that position with Pure at the start. They get a really timely retreat as well on Lewis. Like, he makes that choice to kind of back into that top jungle further up and allow the rest of BB team to collapse onto Palos first to look for the angle back in. Very smart in and outs coming in here from Excretion and from BB team, but you are seeing some issues. Like, the damage is certainly lacking. For the most part in that fight, Palos really wasn't doing much except getting held up, popping spells, trying to buy that opportunity for Lewis. And at this point, yeah, Lewis's damage output is good. It doesn't feel like he can really carry through if these fights drag any longer than they currently are. There's only so much weaving you can do here on the side of Execration. We'll have to see if they can maybe catch a little bit more.
GPK, it'd be a nice target. Landed stun initially. Gage is there. Lewis with the Vortex to follow up, and it looks like they've got him. GPK will be dropping once again. This is the big thing right now. Like, Palos, he doesn't really feel like a carry, but Tino and Lewis, they're proving to be pretty big problems. It's almost like Palos is just playing off lane right now.
That he is basically. Lewis is pretty much carrying here. I will have to give a shout out to Shanks as well. Getting his shard up, they did manage to actually get that initial setup from just double Shadow Walk breakage. And they layered it perfectly as well. Like, Execration are just moving as a unit very cleanly outside of, a couple of maybe 2 aggressive movements across the map. And now they found themselves an opportunity for a tier 2. BB team kind of hugging that bot jungle themselves, shoving in the bot area to kind of trade away. They still have that Aegis for a little bit more time, not too long now, a little bit of a reset out. Pure, and Exa is managing to find a way to constantly weave in and out. With the BKB up on Lewis, it's going to get a lot easier. Down to 8 seconds now, but still enough of a window to get things going. A BKB coming for Tino next, and a Blink coming out for Palos can start to at least put the Abaddon in interesting spots, especially while borrowed time is running. So maybe better positioning out, easier saves coming in with a Photic Shield if Palos isn't jumped first. And it's going to be about a back and forth in those saves, right? Like, you're playing into Omni Knight, you're playing into just the factor of Repel, Guardian Angel on hand. At the same time, you've got this Abaddon with a Photic Shield that can be murderous if he does manage to get some big saves off, especially onto someone key like Lewis.
Do they want to try for Miero? They're going to try, but the whole side of BB team's there. They're ready. Miero is dropping low, but he will be safe for now. The cut enemy is Lewis. He needs to duck out of there. He'll do so. They'll try for Tino instead. Palos, he'll be the man left behind as it looks like it's a creation. They need to reset. They need to escape. Do they really leave Palos behind? Well, in fact, they don't. He just walks out of it. So they only lose CML. BB team, they lose nothing, so they'll be very happy with that.
Let the middle tower fall.
I think for Exa, like, sure, you get close with taking down Miero, but he's the hardest target to deal with.
And he is, and you did have to expend the Chain Frost as well. Not the luckiest bounces in the world this time around for CML, unfortunately, not staying onto the heroes. And they were split apart enough on the side of BB team to not get caught off guard. It's still a very even game across the board off of that, 18-21. Slight net worth advantage still hanging in there for Execration. It is just worrying how much Pure is getting away with. Again, still an 8-second BKB to play with, constantly shoving in down bot. Will find that tier 2 tower now with no contest for the side of Exe. There is still a lack of damage. Like, Palos still has no solution. He would be a very good nullifier carrier if you can kind of find room for that. It's just he still has to work into the Blink as well. It's going to take so much time to remove these saves from the side of BB team. And for the side of Exe, I mean, again, the pacing, they're still keeping up that aggression, to be fair. They're still trying to play around all these tracks, trying to play around with the friendly Shadow and the Shadow Walk and hunting heroes down. It's just that BB team have been playing in very distant parts of the map now, mainly hugging bot. They've got a good ward line, a couple of sentries, a couple of wards here to watch if Shanks and company are kind of sneaking around. They have avoided that top area where Execration has set up most of their vision at. So if you can't find these heroes, you can't get track kills. If you can't get track kills, you can't keep that snowball going.
And setting up again, it looks like. GPK gonna hang by the tier 2 tower. Execration just not relenting on the pressure. Tina just keeping the wards here to ensure the lane's forced in, and they're just trying to force an error from BB team at the moment. One way to do it, just keep the lanes forced in and force them to get into some awkward positions to try and defend. Will reveal his position.
Under attack.
T2 tower Tino will take care of it on his own for now. EP's incoming. Pure, he's going to get started with the belt strike, but they're pretty safe on the Venom as Pure. Going to be a little bit cautious. Carlos, he's right in. Zip out. Lewis trying for the Shaman. Can he get him? Save is still alive. He will not die. Carlos is gone. Now they can go. BB team, they'll find CML on a boot. In fact, they even found Tino. Lewis has left the building. It's a 4-for-0 trade. This Omni Knight, it's making life so hard. Like, the repel comes in every time. Save just survives over and over again.
It's too much.
Oh, they'll get him this time. Lewis will eventually get him, but you know, it's a 1-for-4.
It is. And again, this is the big difference for Execration and BB team. For Execration, it feels like Palos has to take that front line. Right? Like, he's having to move forward. He can't just stand back, try to use the blink to get a photic shield onto someone. He's trying to leverage that radiance. He's trying to leverage his durability as a core. But it pales in comparison to how safe Miero can play. He's just standing back. He's always got repel. He's always got Guardian Angel. He doesn't need to be in the firing line. They know Execration has to run into them. And as long as you have that safe positioning from Miero, I mean, what will you do? You know, you can't reach the Omni. If you try to reach him with Lewis alone, it puts him in the firing line in a very dangerous spot. So it's just that difference. You can afford to play safe on Miero. You can't afford to do so on Palos just because he is their POS 1. You don't want your POS 1 hugging too far behind when it's an Abaddon. You kind of need to be aggressive on him, and it just removes that threat of saving with a photic shield.
I mean, it does. Makes it very hard as well, because Save, he just has that Ghost Scepter, goes into the ethereal form every single time. They try to jump him, and just so many ways to keep this Shaman alive. In the middle of a fight, Save, he's been very good for his squad. Seeing both teams smoked up. Shanks, he'll break the smoke, but does get caught out immediately. He'll pop the Frost Shield, but it won't matter. Cure is hitting way too hard now. Road Shot is available for either side, but more so BB team at the moment. They want a little bit more, though, by the looks of it. The jump in. Oh, Palos! There goes Palos. Lewis has jumped as well, trying to pick up the Shaman, and they'll throw the Chain Frost down. You're really lacking quite a bit of damage here. Dave gonna walk out again. He won't die. CML will, however. Shanks not looking safe either. He bought back into this. He really doesn't want to die back immediately, but they found him. Pure godlike now. And another disastrous fight for Execration.
You have to appreciate how fast BB team can just get on top of a hero. They've got that mobility. They've got so much going on for them. This pick-me-up fast is just providing a lot of angles out for Kataomi to get these heroes right on top of these soft targets they want. And your output, again, on Execration is just lacking. It's still all in on Lewis, who's caught out here.
Oh, Lewis getting caught as well. Save will secure the kill. He really has been the bane of their existence, Save. On this Shaman, it's just been in. I mean, how many times has he survived a team fight?
Way too many times. Way too many times. That foul play is just doing a ton of work. Like you mentioned, the Ghost Scepter as well, stalling out that burst window they're trying to play with on Exe. And the ball's completely out of their court now. 19-30, 11k lead for the side of BB team. For Sean, not going to take too long here for Pure to clear out. And you don't have options on Exe. And again, it kind of comes back to how this draft is laid out. Right? Like, you need to be the front liner on Palos because Tino, he's a tanky Venomancer, relatively tanky for a Venomancer, but not going to be tanky enough. He needs to be the one standing back. So Palos has to be running forward. No saves for him. And he's not able to save anyone else as well if that key control comes in. And your damage as well is just somewhat lacking. At this point, Lewis is just not gonna cut it by himself. In fact, Lewis is the one trying to go for the full nullifier for the team. We're looking at a Basher pickup for Palos instead, which can be useful. It's just, you can see how much pressure there is on the Storm to clean things up. Like, remove the Ghost Scepter, remove Repel, remove Guardian Angel himself. He has to do all of the work on Lewis.
And that he has to. Palos, I appreciate he has just been the tank for the team at this stage, but it really is starting to feel like you're lacking a carry in this game for Execration. There's only so much Lewis can do on his own. BB team, they'll go through the top lane now. T1 tower is still standing, so they'll quickly deal with
Radiant's
that.
top tower is
Shanks
under
in a position
Radiant's
if they
top
want
tower
to try and
has
defend
fallen.
and force some fights, but would not really advise it right now. It does start to feel like you're going to be in that high ground situation pretty soon as Execration with the way this game's been going. The team, I think, know it very well too, John.
Radiant's top tower is
They've got the
Radiant's
clear
top tower
advantage.
has fallen.
The fight here for Execration is just so hard to
They're
find.
attacking
Like, how
Dire's
are you
middle
supposed to
tower.
initiate? You don't have that much team fight control. You know, you're banking on Lewis to jump in. Maybe a good Shadow Walk and friendly Shadow Stun as well coming out of the Invis. Just difficult to execute on.
Well, they'll try Tino. It's gonna be okay. Pure though. Through Shoning's TML. Main gang out as well onto the Venomancer. They're using the trap as a side blades. Not gonna be enough. Pure not getting lucky with the crit.
Dire's bottom tower is in the fight.
Enough to hold them back at the very least in Execration again. I don't see the angle for these fights. Lewis has to kind of go all in somehow.
They're gonna zip in. Vortex, but BKB was used by Pure, so he'll be okay. Kanomi jumping in, runs right back up. Without the BKB, you could maybe hope for something, but he's still got the Aegis up, so it makes it rather difficult anyway. Pure will get gazed up. Lewis will jump in. They'll try to burst him down, but the repeller's there. Into the chain frost now, but it's just doing no damage. They'll try and jump the Shaman. There's that Ghost Scepter. Maybe this time they can deal with safe. Let's see if they can keep it going. Kataomi will also go down. This might be the fight. Lewis, he's onto the Omni Knight. Miero will be okay though. Not really the biggest fight in the world for Exa, but they do find a support duo for their trouble. They have lost the melee barracks.
I mean, it could have gone worse for Exa. They hang on to the range. They're not losing as much as you'd expect. The Aegis is still up for BB team. They could still look to go back up. I mean, there's still a good amount of time, 2 minutes 10 on that Aegis still. You have an opportunity to just come back in. The one thing for BB team is that you are feeding out track kills. Your lead is high enough that it's a 2.7k swing for Execration. Helps fix a couple of issues. Unfortunate for Palos that he doesn't get a first hit bash trying to chase down Miero with that full basher up, but hey, can't have all. And for Exe, that has to be the key. You kind of have to weave in and out on Lewis. You kind of have to hug that BKB usage, hold back as long as you can, bait them in from BB team, have them overextend, and try to chase down afterwards. It's not a very direct way of coming in, but that's the best way they have, just kind of putting BB team in disarray. If they don't manage to find that initiation, they'd want themselves here as well.
Another minute 20 on the Aegis here. BB team looking to see if they can find another fight. Does expire. We were already on the hunt. TML very scared now, knowing it's just 2 shots away from dying. Maybe even 1 shot at this point, let's be fair.
Seems Radiant doesn't care about their middle tower.
2 mid tower. Delayed a little bit with that frost shield, but it won't do too much.
Rune of invisibility.
Question is, do you want to try high ground again for BB team?
Radiant's middle
Minute
tower
left on
used
the
to be
Aegis.
there.
I guess there is time for at least a tier 3 tower.
It doesn't feel like they have too much to worry about. You've got a Swift Blink plus Daedalus up on Pure. He has so much output. Still has his BKB at a healthy amount. Oh, 6 seconds, but 6 seconds is enough. The windows you're looking for on Execration are just so narrow. They can just kind of split their attention. Wards down bot, TA shoving in mid. Gotta find some way to correct.
They do. Up to the chains though, always very awkward to start the fight as Tino. About half his HP here to Pure. Lewis gonna zip in, we'll try for the TA, still 15 seconds on the Aegis, they're just setting up the GPK, he went a little bit far, they need to jump in and help GPK out, the repeller's there, it will keep the Ember alive. GPK will have another lease on life. However, they need to dissipate. They'll find the melee barracks, but can they get out safely? Pure, he has no Aegis. Maybe this is the opening for Lewis, but he's out of mana now. Palos will keep the chase up. Meanwhile, Tino will die in the base as Pure still trying to fight it. It will go down. It's a big kill. GPK also going down. They'll take Palos, though. GPK will fight back immediately. BB team, are you sure you found a nice couple kills, but they've got the buybacks. They're ready to come back.
I love that from Pure. I love that from GPK, just having that Remnant on top, getting instantly back into the fight, cleaning up, forcing the buyback out now from Tino as well. You do have a buyback in Lewis, but you need that entire complement up here to defend. You need Palos' body. You need a lot of that control coming out, that damage coming out from Lewis. And the pieces just aren't there. At the least without the TA, this threat from BB team isn't as high, but they will still keep on it. They know there's just not going to be enough, even with the respawns coming in.
They're trying. Miero. A bit of HP. Kataomi though just jumping right in. Happy to go right after Tino. The Kataomi should probably just be dying. He'll try for a TP up but won't make it. Miero, meanwhile, still in danger, but these trap silences being very annoying for Lewis. Eventually, they will find Miera. Not out of the game yet.
No.
They are trying.
There they are. And again, BB team a little bit hasty without the TA, without Pure around to siege onto the next set of racks. Execration still hanging on. They do have that output. And the damage coming in now from Lewis is high. Even Palos, not in the last fight, but this Abaddon's on top of you with the threat of the Basher now. Things can get a little bit spicy. And again, for Execration, they did a fantastic job of just weaving in and out. It's Lewis always kind of just dodging out the rebounds, looking for the backline. A little bit of an overextension out from GPK, putting them in a little bit of that mess. As, you know, he is fairly low HP. They need the Ember for the poke. They need the chain gang action going. He's a little bit less confident with all of that expenditure onto him. And then you get that follow-through. You get that deep chase. You get that output from Palos now. The Abaddon's not to be not underestimated.
Pure has been jumped. Pure has been jumped. Can they kill him? Pure! Oh, he's gone. He's got buyback though. With Execration, they're feeling it. They feel the opening. Palos, he'll keep going on the save. The Shaman will go down now. Well, hold on a minute. BB team, let's calm down. Rerap, get it together. What's happened, John?
They're going a little bit scattered around. Again, that's where Execration shines. You've got the Storm who can just dive bomb you with no concern as long as you're kind of separated away from the Shadow Shaman and the Omni Knight. So the moment you split apart, the moment there's an opportunity for Execration, of course they can get on top. They've got Friendly Shadow, Shadow Walk, plus all of this movement across the map with Lewis. They are trying to stall out. You have to remember, GPK did buy back in the early fight. If he puts himself in danger here, you're going to be one hero short even with the buyback on Pure.
Uh-oh.
So it's time for a little bit of caution out from BB team. At least wait for the respawn to be here.
And this all goes back to that mid-racks trying to be taken without Pure. A little bit hasty thinking we can do it without him, but turns out they couldn't, and suddenly Execration now looking like they're in a dominant position. Palos has actually become a bit of a problem at this stage too.
Just fortified their structures.
Here we go.
He's got the full pistol to go through that debuff immunity. He's got himself an Outworld staff, buying him a little, some key time. The baits up some spells. It is so good. Such a good item. I can't believe people thought it would be bad.
Who thought it
came
would
out.
be bad?
A lot of people on Reddit thought it was a little bit lame.
Well, of
No,
course
it's like,
they did.
no, you underestimate what 0.7 seconds does. It's just massive. And again, some of that damage is starting to come into being here for the side of Execration. Full Scotty up for Tito. It starts to get a little bit painful with all of the slows and damage you get with a Septic Shock here on the Venomancer. Nothing like an Ags up. So it's not all about damage, but the utility certainly is starting to really take place here.
I mean, you're basically in an even game. If you ignore the objectives, Miero. Do we have Dota? What's Dota Plus saying? Do we have some win probabilities here, perhaps? 57% for BB team now. Well, that's not a good position to be in, considering where they were just a minute ago.
Certainly not. And again, we're seeing from Execration, they can find these angles for the fight, even if it's just extremely awkward. You have to bait BB team out. They are biting the bait every now and again. A little bit of a smoke out from BB team, as well as from Exe. See if they can start to posture. Roshan is that flashpoint. Whoever takes this cleans up the high ground.
BB team, be careful, gentlemen. Don't want to throw a game like this. Execration, they've got a high ground advantage here. If BB team do try to move their way up, but they're trying to go towards that. No, never mind. They're looping back around towards the east into the Radiant jungle, but Tino's going to be there along with CML and the rest. They'll see Palos very soon. They won't see the Venom straight off the bat. They'll jump in onto the lift, but the gaze is there. The Shaman's been caught. Safe. Look at the BKB. Meanwhile, Lewis getting caught for a second. Will zip out of there. Who are they targeting? It's CML down first. Meanwhile, Palos, he's on a save. Pure's dropping real low. Somebody save him. Pure is down. Palos, meanwhile, still going. He'll go on to Kanaomi as Pure's going to buy back along with save. They're just going to commit all the way for this fight, but the fight's looking pretty over. GPK, he needs some help. Miero will move back in. Tino, though, with the Scotty being such a nuisance. Execration.
They're doing it.
BB team, they're trying for Roche. This is why they fought back. They can't let this go down.
Oh, it's so risky, though.
Oh, BB team. This is scary.
It's so risky.
The
Look,
world's on your shoulders, Pure.
your BKBs are on cooldown. There's an opportunity here.
Tino's going to scout it out. This is just very frightening for BB team now. They were so far ahead, but Execration just enduring the suffering, Jonathan.
That they are. Again, it's this target prioritization. It's the way they're weaving in and out of these fights. With the Storm, like Lewis is doing a fantastic job here.
Every time I say the Parasma,
Yeah, it gets
Every
dangerous.
time.
It gets dangerous. You've got the nullifier now as well. You're dealing with all of these saves coming out from the side of BB team. At the least, they haven't course corrected top, slowly being shoved in. Someone's going to have to repair for those tier 4s. You should have a window here for BB
don't say
team.
repair, John. You bring me back to the repair kit,
Yeah,
Dave.
those are fun.
You give me PTSD when you say repair.
We're very, very funny. At least you don't. I mean, you could count in like the Lich 25, I suppose, if you want to get into that.
That's true.
For CML, if the game drags on long enough, you would have that.
The chain frost damage is actually quite nice too.
Yeah, 100 incremental, it's pretty big. But 50 HP regen on your ancient
you're right.
and your towers.
You're right.
I don't know, actually. I take the chain frost.
I think you might actually just be right on that, honestly.
It depends. I think in this kind of game state, you're still fine because it feels like you could go with the extra damage. The issue is you're going into BKBs, you're going into repel. That damage is mitigated to a fair degree. It's not going to be bursty anyway. Might be better off. I mean, look, additional regen on Lewis, additional regen on Palos. It's going to be massive. That could be, you know, just the way to go.
I'm looking at Lewis and I'm thinking, where's the axe build up at this stage?
That's the only thing lacking. That wide AoE control. He had to go for all of this counter control and damage because he has been carrying.
Oh, BB team, they're hanging around Roshan Pit again. Keep in mind, there's not many buybacks here for BB team. In fact, there's no buybacks on the map. Never mind, nobody's got it. DPK, he'll jump in, trying to find CML. Won't be able to get there as Tino trying to start a fight. They will rebound GPK out. Lewis, he'll jump right in. He saw Save. He'll force the BKB, now jumping onto Miera. Meanwhile, Palos trying to do with the Shaman, but Save is going to be able to save himself around out of there. Miera trying to chase down Shanks in the meantime. Here comes Save again. They'll find Shanks to start. Here comes Pure. Palos, he's been shackled up. He'll get the borrowed time off. Meanwhile, CML is just still being chased by GPK. He'll finally go down. Panaomi, he'll follow. Pure, still fighting. Takes down Palos. Lewis, he's out of mana now. Surely this fight's over. And this game might be over. Execration. In the end, it seems as though they cannot do it as BB team pull off the team fight victory they needed. They'll go for Roshan. There are no buybacks right now for Execration. Lewis will have one in 5 seconds.
A very fragmented fight out from Exa. Again, like, we were fighting one front by the ramp, a deep dive from Lewis, the connections aren't clean, and this time it was Execration that was just kind of fragmented. BB team capitalize on it. They force the buyback out now from Tino. There will be at least be the buyback in Lewis, like you mentioned here. But this is a scary moment now for the side of Exa. 2 lives on Pure, a cheese on hand as well. That can be force-fed out. Only the 1 set of racks left standing here for the side of Execration. It's do or die. They've got to find some magic again that we've seen a couple of times. But in this circumstance now, it's looking a lot less clear to find that opportunity here.
I mean, you've got your support you up in 20 seconds. But the thing is, you're going to be lacking Palos for another minute. It's a long time. Not have your Abaddon.
Middle barracks
BB team, they know it. Mega creeps up. They're going into the tier 4 towers now. One last ditch attempt to save this game for Exa. They need some more heroes. They've now got 3. Lewis can buy back whenever. Preferably they'd like to fight with Palos if they can, but I don't know if they have the time.
Middle tower has
Divine now on Pure as well. He's just going to go straight for the Ancient, it seems like, with the Divine Rapier pickup. And Lewis, he's going to buy back. GPK holding them in the fountain. He's going to be able to get out of Shanks now, moving forward. Here comes Lewis, trying to jump the Nero. Nero is now Pure. He's going to lose the Aegis. Keep in mind, he has a Divine Rapier, Pure. You don't want to lose like this. He'll jump in here to get Pure. He's completely surrounded, but the Ancient is gone. The Ancient is gone. They make it happen.
Oh, man.
Oh. Well, that was a bit too close for comfort if you ask me, John.
Very close for comfort for the side of BB team. I don't think they would have expected Execration to still have that momentum lining up. Again, very spectacular plays from Exa in the way that they were utilizing the Storm.
Dire pick. Dire pick.
Mereska has arrived.
Even using the Fiend's Grip after something that he doesn't like to play into.
We got a Willow as an answer from Falcons. Does it reveal a lot for them?
Not really.
It is a different hero for Crit, by the way.
It is.
But he is a Grandmaster, right?
It's one of his best heroes.
Yeah.
And
A little surprised that he
5
didn't.
seconds remaining.
it's like in
Yes.
every game.
Yeah.
Same here. Like he seems to be addicted to Shadow Shaman for whatever reason. This is a pretty nasty combo. The three of these heroes all together. Like the amplification from Pugna to Craftify and then magic damage from both Puck and Willow is pretty crazy. However, it is really double tripling down on like these, you know,
10
squishy
seconds remaining.
magic damage dealing heroes.
Yeah.
So perhaps this is something which is
5 seconds
beautiful.
remaining.
It definitely is. I mean, Ace, he loves the build into auras, so this is definitely a pipe game for him. And also something we didn't point out is the Viper ban from Game and Gladiators.
Yeah.
So that also means that probably is going to the safe lane. I don't think you would be banning out Viper. This is something Amar loves to play. Could cause a lot of issues for TA throughout the whole game. Vulcan's draft there are a bit squishy. These heroes are very easily killed. I could also see, I did mention Pipe Buyer, but I could also see Night Stalker being picked up. Like he would ruin all of these heroes. This is also another one. Global presence, you don't like to play into it. Great against Puck, great against Willow, Pugna as well.
Night Stalker is an insanely good suggestion. This is like
game.
This is definitely on your mind.
10
If they haven't,
remaining.
I feel like if they don't pick it, it's because nobody mentioned it. You know, like I feel like the moment one player's like maybe Night Stalker, like they would insta lock it because all of these heroes, damn. I mean, okay, this is somewhat of a similar idea. It's a hero that counters Puck in the mid lane, but more importantly, the AoE silence from Night Stalker is what we were looking for. And this is a hero that maybe it's not as insane and you need an Ags to get it, but it still functions in the same way.
I think they were prioritizing
10
the mid
seconds
pick because
remaining.
because there are other offlaners that they can still pick up
5
and
seconds
make sure
remaining.
that they're still having a good time. Like I think there isn't that big of a hero pool to deal with the Puck right now from the mid lane, but Ace has a lot of heroes that they could potentially bang out. We're talking about, you know, if it's a good game for the Lord, he's gonna be the aura with the auras as well. Works really nicely here. That extra bit of a damage reduction that you do have. Axe, if you also, like we've seen Axe 33, it wasn't him who was playing it, but he showed that you can dynamization, pick up the pipe. You also have an instant lockdown, almost instant lockdown against Puck.
It also means that right now, Gaiman is looking like we are having another time to get in a row where their last pick to be for Ace. So they want to set up him for success.
I do think his pool's a bit limited here, just because you definitely want a pipe buyer. So when Spear comes out, then I guess just in general, Night Stalker is lower in value because he's not really a great pipe buyer. For the flip side, for Amar,
But he's a vision. Like you have vision. If you go for the Night Stalker on Gaiman, you give Void Spirit pretty free entry to the fight. He can see everything. You have Silencer to back you up, Batrider with the Blink Lasso, TA with the Blink Dagger as well.
yeah, I'm totally with you. I think it's a different style to how
for sure.
Gaiman likes to play, but I still think this is an insane Night Stalker game. And Falcons goes for Beastmaster. Okay, it does very well against TA and lane, especially with the Silencer support. If you're out of position at all on Silencer, you will die to the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can counter initiate though with like global silence, you know, like if they pop East Roar and then really like hard commit to a fight, a global turnaround can almost certainly happen.
Can't really flex this. We haven't seen too much, like ever since the nerfs, we haven't seen Beastmaster from the carry role anymore. We are exclusively seeing Beastmaster, even though when the patch dropped, I still remember like Toronto, Tokyo trying a couple of times to play with the Aghanim Scepter from the
5
off lane,
seconds
but I
remaining.
think you want to be having some extra bit of a push, extra bit of an early timing as well, so going for the helm, going for upgraded helm as well, where you can deal with the Silencer.
Bro, Night Stalker can eat the beast creep. Like, surely you have to be thinking about Night Stalker.
It is a hero creep now.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. So you can't eat it.
You cannot.
10 seconds remaining.
It will also be Falcons still has a ban before.
5 seconds
A ban and a
remaining.
pick actually before Gaiman gets to pick anything at all.
I can understand the Darkseer ban. It's a like very good hero with Batrider in lane. Putting him in Iron Bat, he kind of functions like a melee hero with Darkseer. And then it's the best pipe buyer in the entire
Remember
game.
back in the day, this is something that Enigma Galaxy did abuse when you didn't have capped move speed on Surge. So people were like using Firefly, getting an extra move speed, and then moving at the speed of light, pretty much 800 move speed, and dragging them from their like tier 3 towers to your tier 1 tower. Good old days.
Yeah.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
caps to everything, don't they?
5 seconds remaining.
Very good.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Cap was here.
He just
Yes.
stood next to me.
I didn't know how to make that less awkward.
Great
but yes.
pun, Jenkins. Great job.
I'll say it into the mic.
Great pun, Jenkins. Great job.
Your breath smells like tea. Anyway, Medusa comes out.
After an anti-mage ban.
Yeah, I mean, this is an answer to the TA. Medusa, because of the way Mana Shield works, is before reductions. Do not care at all about minus armor. So this is a like TA counter.
10 seconds remaining.
You can also like Stone Gaze and stop a TA from hitting you.
5 seconds
How does it lane
remaining.
together with Pugna? It's gonna be Medusa Pugna lane, right?
This is not a good lane anymore. Like
No.
6 months ago, it would be great because you could still replenish mana.
Yeah, it is just
Pugna doesn't give you mana anymore, so you don't really have the combo. This is pretty similar to, I don't know, Oracle plus Medusa. You're really not getting the full value out of it.
So how can Gaiman abuse this? They have an offlaner they still need that they know is gonna go up against that Medusa Pugna lane. Is there anything that can really get some use out of that?
Offlane anti-mage
It is banned.
is banned. So Shiver, to answer your question,
Offlane PL. You heard Cap from the sideline. That is actually very audible, I believe. But I think that's also out of the question.
I think that it could be good if they want to, you know, have Blink Initiator. Even though they have good, I'd say Axe is okay. I think there's a good maybe Brewmaster game if you're playing
Centaur
against.
just doesn't care at all about Medusa.
That's also
Well,
true.
Like, it's a pipe buyer too. He just played. It's Ace.
Choose your
Similar in the sense that the damage that Medusa does just tickles you. Like, he's a pipe buyer. He's a Crimson buyer.
Yeah, with that,
Against it in lane.
he has pretty like high hero pool that he could have picked from with all these aura buyers. I kind of like. I'm digging this game in draft. I feel like Maladich on Silencer and Tofu, they're gonna be pretty active. You have Void Spirit against Puck. It also depends like how good. Like again, we might be seeing something that did happen in game 1 when they're trying to kill the ward. Like this is extremely skilled matchup, and if Quinn gets the upper hand in this matchup, he gets a good timing on the Aghanim Scepter. He might just roll over the game.
Ooh, so we're having one
If
vote
he
for a
doesn't,
1-1.
if he doesn't, I'm gonna quote one of the smartest guys in Dota, that is
10
SVG, I believe,
seconds
who
remaining.
said that you can blame it on his innate ability whenever you lose
5
with
seconds
Void Spirit.
remaining.
Didn't they just buff, speaking of innates, the innate of Underlord? The TP, when you TP, you get more damage reduction now. Maybe it's
Yeah.
more move speed, but they slightly
yes,
buffed.
I got a reliable source.
They
Yes.
slightly buffed him, and I think even if that were not the case, he would have been an excellent pick here. I really love Underlord against also Beastmaster because you can sit in whatever area of the beast that's like trying to take over and just firestorm out the way, right?
Okay.
And then ult somewhere else for your team.
So we're saying Gaiman has a good draft and that was a great Underlord pick, but we also have Skeeter getting the Medusa, and from what I heard from you guys, Underlord doesn't really care too much about the
No, he
Medusa.
does not.
But that also kind of means that the last pick for Skeeter should still be good.
It's definitely good against the other heroes. Like, there's not great, you know,
Because what's Underlord
mana
gonna do
burn.
when he doesn't have his team?
Well, he can use the gates. Rest of the team can come.
I think the idea is to just like let Medusa tickle you, kill the rest of the team, and then kill Medusa after. Like that's a totally viable option.
But is that not exactly the same for Falcons? Medusa kills the rest of Underlord's team and then kills Underlord after.
I'm personally not a huge Medusa believer anymore.
Okay.
I feel like since the Mana Shield got nerfed, she is not in that state where she can just become unkillable because you don't have mana burn. You can straight up like damage her through this if you have options for the other heroes.
Okay. Well, it does sound like Gaiman's got a good shot of tying this series. Will they, though? That's what we're going to find out here with Captain SVG.
Prepare for battle.
That's right, you can theory craft as much as you want, but you gotta execute within the game. Isn't that right, Jenkins?
That's right, Cap.
Thank you.
You're gonna cast with him now?
Maybe.
Like to see that. I would need to see that.
I actually, I DM'd Jenkins long ago about casting together. Long time ago.
And it worked out for both of you.
Classic Jenkins never responded to that message.
He probably gave you a fake email address.
Well, it was on a social media site, so I know it was him.
One thing that they did not mention in all that discussion was
yes. What did they miss?
The ATF Beastmaster. I think
what?
30 seconds to battle.
It's supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I didn't say anything yet.
Okay, all right. Continue.
Thank you, Austin. I think this game looks really good for him.
Okay.
Like, I think he can straight carry this game. And he was kind of cooking in that game 1. So I'm looking to him to put this game on his back. If he just goes in, roars this Void Speed or TA, you know, talking late game Beastmaster, right? Maybe Shivas, he's going to have a Helm of the Overlord, whatever it is.
Finally.
I could seriously see him doing some work. And there's not a lot to combat the early summon spam if he goes the Helm route, which it looks like he will be going. That's the more popular build now. Nobody really deals with the creep super early if TA's not getting involved in the fight. And if you're Beastmaster and you drag TA into these early fights, that's kind of the goal. You want to be able to get her in a situation where she's fighting before she wants to, into the boars, into attack speed slow, you wear her down, overrun her with summons, you get the Roshans instead of her.
Right.
And then you're controlling the tempo, you're controlling the pace. I think the Pugna Willow can back you up pretty nicely here. I like that component of Falcon's draft. I do agree maybe the Medusa feels a little weaker than the Sven did in the game 1, and TA is always going to be a powerful hero if you don't deal with her in the mid game. But otherwise, I kind of leaning towards Falcons again. I'm also just not super sold on the Void Spirit here. I once again, Quinn has the best supports follow-ups.
Yes,
in this game.
he does not have some of those traditional heroes who take advantage of a Void Spirit jump in, grab with the Aether Remnant.
Especially against Puck. You can get nags, you can be kind of self-sufficient against Puck, you can threaten him on your own, but there's no Lion or Shaman in this game. Those, or Bane, like those are the ones I always look for. You do have Silencer, which can be super annoying for the Puck, but Silencer is also lower damage output, I would say. Some of those other heroes in terms of bursting the Puck down, and sometimes you can just have defensive items and get away with it. Do what gaming can do with a support duo that be good against the Puck, but needs to get the ball rolling. And a lot of that might come down to this mid lane, like how well Quinn does in this true one-on-one matchup. Void Spirit in this matchup can overperform, especially in the hands of a very experienced Void Spirit player. You can really win this matchup with the extra early base damage. And so far, Quinn is doing exactly that, doubling up Maureen CS 12-2 to the 6-0. Strong start for him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the our Beastmaster. When you brought him up, by the way, I thought you were talking about player-hero combination. And I was like, that's not really an Amar hero. The first thing I thought.
It's not, I feel like it kind of is now. I'll say that the Ags beast is, I think, more in his wheelhouse than the Helm beast.
Yes.
He also has no cosmetics on this, which is a concern.
That's the concern? Not the fact that he's gold tier Beastmaster?
That is a second concern.
Where every other hero that he plays is Grandmaster?
I have faith. Let's be real, I don't think the modern day Beastmaster is that difficult to execute.
You've been on a Beastmaster hate trend lately.
What are you talking about, man?
We just had a long podcast about how this hero is just able to bypass a fundamental skill set in Dota 2, aka laning.
Oh,
because he just stacks.
Well, yeah,
stacks.
That is. Oh, I disagree with that. But there's a lot of heroes that can do that. That's not on the Beastmaster, you know. That's on Dota.
Gone Val.
AKA Ice Frog, I guess. Shout out.
He's made a wonderful game. We appreciate you.
People always complain about the balance of Dota, but bring me to another game that has better balance.
Can't do it.
Yep.
Chess.
And then point me to a community that doesn't complain about it.
Take it from a lady.
Or impossible.
Lose the beard.
There's still guys complaining about Team Fortress now. That game has been officially dead for like 8 years, so.
Yeah, what's there left to complain? So Although I would be hyped to see Team Fortress 2 here at the Esports World Cup. I would enjoy that.
I'll get your wish one day. Got a lane shape. Overall, no kills, but pretty even across the board. The Beastmaster is the one suffering a little bit. So maybe the inexperience for ATF coming back to bite him here.
Malrine tipping Tofu for taking the top water rune. Gotta help. What? Ace, wake up! Hello? What was Ace looking at? It was a free Lotus. We've had some really weird interactions with Slope.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's working properly at this point. Someone's got to look into this. Doesn't have a lot of stacks waiting for him though. Already a huge amount of stacks built up on this triangle from the Bat Rider on Tofu. So Lord is set for success, and if you're Falcons, you either got to match this with the Beast or find a way to exert some pressure on this map. Maybe get in there for yourself, steal stacks away from Gaiman.
Mark behind, Malady shows up. Now Mark did have some stick charges. He battles it out with Watson. Will not win that battle, but they will get the trade-off. Still though, First Blood is claimed. A bit of intelligence is stolen. All things considered, good for Game of Gladiator.
I take that every time. Shut this down.
You are relatively tanky yourself here on the Kunkka, so you're not going to be easy to shove away, even with the chain control threat that you are getting here from Save. It shouldn't be as hard for Palos in comparison to... Or at least, it's just a matter of how much can they capitalize, because it feels like this game, the big difference for Exa is going to be Tino on the Beastmaster, right? Like, last time on the Venomancer, he was a lot more passive, he was farming, he was getting the aura up fully along with a Hurricane Pike before joining in his team. With the Beastmaster, he kind of does the same thing, but it is more effective with the Dominator, Overlord timing, shoving in top, having that presence, maybe even just getting Aurora out, opportunistic kills start to appear. This is not looking great for GPK mid. Again, a little bit of a repeat from game one, if not maybe a little bit worse actually in comparison to game one. It felt a little bit closer there for GPK in comparison to this.
It does. You don't have to worry about the bounty hunter at least for GPK. So there's one bright side, I guess, is you're not going to have to be too concerned about that hero moving in as Pure. The man fight Tino here. Tino will retreat. They do have those level 2 balls up now, so they are trying to be very aggressive. So probably the easier target to aim down, but they'd much rather the life stealer if they can. They're going to be okay, but the harassment's certainly not going to be slowing down too much here from the side of Execration.
And on point again with just that positioning, that space.
Miero? Miero's going to get caught down bottom. He'll pop the healing Lotus, will survive thanks to the shackle. CML will go for the chase. Miero should be perfectly fine. It's top lane now. The chase on a Kanaomi. Kanaomi not looking too good. He'll go down. Pure still fighting a little bit, but does ultimately need to retreat. No more spells to throw out here for the side of Exa. Will leave. We've got Kanaomi, they'll be more than happy with that, and of course, this is allowed. Oh, Pure! That's a tree, hides behind it. Quick thinking from Pure.
Yeah, a little bit cheeky. Did force out the Lotus usage out from Shank, so missing out on the snipe. You do have some good sustain. Just a shared tango plus the Sprout. A little bit of that longer tango to play with for Pure. Some regen, kind of keep him in that lane. Again, very annoying here to try to poke out, but you are still lining up for a strong start for Exa. Like, all of these kills coming out onto Tino's lane, it's just adding up to that early start for that Dominator, for that Overlord timing we're looking for from him. And again, all the lanes are looking pretty clean from Exa. That lane for Palos still getting pretty active here.
The save, bottom lane will be targeted. CML with the enchant being an absolute nuisance. They will find save. CML. As an edge player, John, you really enjoy that level 3 timing. That level 2 enchant, always a pleasure to play with.
And it is, just having himself a nice, annoying little Warpine Raider already. He could start to consider making some movements here into the 6-minute mark. Gets himself a tomato cube. Can kind of just deny this refill out from GPK.
He was very low up at top. He's got no mana for Rage either. He's just going to run the old-fashioned way, but he cannot do so. Tino will secure his life. Meanwhile, the Palos will go down. A pretty nice trade across the map here for BB Team. DML, he's trying to connect mid lane to secure power runes and maybe even force T1 towering. But they've got a siege creep, so they can start to apply a lot of pressure onto that T1. GPK Have to leave the power rune for Lewis. I think maybe you could just full commit to the tower if you really want to. Can you keep the sea creep alive long enough? I think the answer is probably yes. Here comes the next creep wave. Team on top, Tino. He's diving tier 1 towers. This is the style of play that Execration love. Pure's been jumped. Pure, he can't survive it. Mid lane, they have shackled up at least CML, so CML will go down. Meanwhile, top Kanaomi still trying to run, but he is going nowhere. Kanaomi will die. And mid tier 1 tower, John, it's gone. It is gone, no denying.
Oh, they kept that siege creep alive. It was a very smart tomato creep pickup as well from CML. That aura it gets when it dies, that buff, the little bit of extra attack speed for the siege creep, speeding up that push. Really good fortified timing there as well for the side of Execration. And you're finding those good trades. Because when it comes down to it, yeah, you're sacrificing a couple of bits here with Palos losing down bot a couple of times. Same thing with Pure up top. But the Conca does farm a little bit quicker than the Lifestealer. Mind you, you can kind of speed that up with the Infed tier, of course, for Pure once that's up. He's stuck at level 4. He's forced to jungle early. Top's gone. And this timing now for Tino is key. Overlord's Dominator's already up, building into the Overlord. And we know what Tino can do on a good Beastmaster game. He can really start to pop off. Heck, he doesn't even go for Roar. He just goes for the additional level in Inner Beast, wants to keep farming, wants to keep pressuring lanes. And we've seen Tino do that a couple of times. If they don't need the Roar for kills, he's going to bypass it. He's just going to eat all the space in the world, deny some pivotal farm that BB team needs to find for themselves. And the rest of the team will kind of pick up the slack for him.
No, absolutely. It's classic Tino Beastmaster. You know, just give him the farm, let him have what he wants. He knows what he's doing. GPK, chains out, trying to get a power rune. We'll get lucky. Gen rune down bottom. We'll be able to secure. Well, Lewis would have loved that. He will not have it. His team keeping around this Ember Spirit. But look at top lane now. T2 Tower almost gone. The Dark Troll Summoner of Tino proving to be a nuisance. And don't forget, you can have two of them. You have an Enchantress.
Yep. Just have so much to play with. They are starting to walk up, but you know, but this Beastmaster is barely tanky with all the stats he's just building up, and is just lacking that full ultimate orb now for that Templar Stone.
Quick jump in onto CML, and he will not be able to heal up in time. Nice quick pick up for BB team. Geez, the tempo of Exile, like the fact that they're already knocking on tier 2 towers and almost taking them down, it's a pretty big concerning for BB team. I mean, you've got to find a way to slow the game down a little bit. Like, you're just losing a few too many objectives.
I feel like this is the better idea that they had when they were going for the Venomancer. It's kind of the same style, right, for Tino. He's doing the same thing, eking up top, kind of taking space, getting that build-up he'd want. But the threat from the Beastmaster is much more apparent in comparison to Venomancer wards and that Aura still.
Yeah, Sade's going to get caught. Not look like he's going to make it out, and he will not. Pure, though, to escape in his ancient Black Dragon form, and he'll be able to do so just fine. Through the Twin Gate. Alos was left alone down bottom. It's only Miro there, though, so he'll be perfectly okay. Miro, of course, having a very nice time as well, we should add. He's been basically completely free farming down to this bottom lane, trying to work towards that Radiance build-up, and with the way the farm's going for him, it'll be out relatively soon.
And that's one way to kind of deal with the creep army at the very least. Just kind of slow down, have some threat, get the group up. You are being a menace here with Pure, and we've seen this again with the Gore Storm. Just taking that ancient creep, cutting off waves. Not really much you can do to poke back on the ancient creep at this point, at the very least.
The GPK. Okay. Not going to find the power in this time. They'll find an illusion, but Lewis is safe. In quick danger, the repel and Guardian Angel going to say there's a nice terrorize now, landing on 3 targets. Save still trying to get out. Somehow will survive. Now the 3-man chase from GPK for the turnaround. Oh, Save. This man, he's just been surviving everything.
Yes, finding extra. I mean, Execration just, again, going on the target that you can't just instigate.
Oh, you are? I mean, it's a big target if they can find this lifestealer, and it seems like they can. You lose your support duo, but you do find a position 1 lifestealer. I don't think you can complain too much about that.
It's pretty equal in terms of net worth trade. It's a little bit more of a bonus, actually, on CML. You have been held back, after all, on Pure in terms of that build-up. You will take that. Again, this timing now in the Lifestealer is starting to slow down severely here for Pure. barely above Shanks, just 600 gold above Dark Willow in terms of net worth at this point, which is not ideal for sure on this Lifestealer, and his timings for something like, say, the Radiance is just not going to be all too quick. Map space has been shrinking. The vision game coming out from Execration, so clean. Look at these wards up top. Having a good line of vision into that top jungle, getting that information to play the aggression to see if they can, take these fights on mid, take these fights by the runes, is anyone coming in. There's a clean line of action coming out for Exa. And overall, I think, again, this is a good rebalancing from Execration in comparison to Game 1. The draft shifted a little bit more. The ideas are somewhat the same. Shifting the Abaddon for the Kunkka, shifting the Venno for the Beastmaster. And, BB team are also running a very similar draft, bringing in the Nature's Prophet and Lifestealer, but this translation for Exa so far has looked a little bit more successful.
Shanks moving in, seeing Kanomi, looking for the Brambles maze. Won't really land it, but it won't matter. Sure that it allows Lewis to get within range to secure a kill here with Tino, and they've got to roll back up here for Tino, so you could try for another quick kill, and the tempo of Execration right now is pretty damn insane. But there's no slowing these guys down at the moment. Control, maybe now, Tino, he'll get caught out. He was completely alone. Everybody else just left the building.
A little bit surprising. You're just kind of standing still, maybe again feeling safe for the vision on top. But good movement out. And again, you can't underestimate just how far your control is on BB team. Because you have Chain Gang just pulling the Remnant out with chains, very low committal kind of movement out. Catch these heroes alone. And that's going to be some breathing room for BB team. 9-6, 1k lead still standing for Exa. You still have that ramp up set here on Tino, but you are getting some recovery room out for Pure, and still slowly working his way towards the Sacred Relic, probably into the full Radiance, like you were talking about on Niero as well, looking for his own Radiance timing to line up. And once you have that durable front line that's willing to run in, and you will have the output, you will have that sustain, and it will be down to Execration to show us whether or not they can deal with all these saves and all this sustain that we saw even from Game 1. And you have some answers for that Ench. TML, at least, with the enchant, can somewhat deal with some of these nuisances, but whether or not it's going to be enough, well, remains to be seen. Still, Tino is back up, gets himself a new Ancient Creep, Thunder Hides on hand, a little bit more attack speed to play with. Running around with the Wild Hunt. There's a lot of attacks we kind of pump out here for a threat. We could look to just maybe snipe out bots somehow, although, again, the creep wave is fairly far. Smoke instead for Exa, trying to get a position in here.
They're fine. It's going to be Save on the Sharp. Very nice scan, though, from Save. See them now. Pal's going to try for the blind torrent. Barely missing out. And even the Bramble's not connected. Quick sidestep from Save. They do still at least get the Shrine of Wisdom for their trouble, but Shanks, Kanomi finds the other one. Not really a big deal at all here for BB team.
No, I mean, at least it's not a 2-0 pickup. Still Kanomi.
Yeah, should get caught. Carlos will move in. Kanomi. Over the Sprout. Carlos will hold on to the X. Let's throw the road out. There's your X. Now Braun does find a nice simple pick-off for himself.
The chase from Lewis on mid.
Ray just popped on Pure. He's going to keep trying for this, but Save is going to be there to try and save. Drop. Lewis looks like he's gone too far. Will go down. And you can't forget, Save is not time bottom lane, but Niero now targeted by Tino and Shanks. Niero, an Angel out, it won't make the difference.
Bigger trades coming out for BB team. You find a few more kills here for Exa. I think losing Lewis is pretty detrimental. At the least, he does force out spells. You don't have the Mass Serpent board. There's no threat for a siege on any objective yet. While that spell is gone, top tier one's still healthy, mid tier one's healthy as well. These are key objectives to kind of clear out to start to shave some map control away from Execration. And Exa are being very efficient across the map despite those losses. Like, you've got that steady build up on Tino, working into his big AC, more attack speed to play with. For the Wild Hunt, his creep will just start to machine gun through objectives. You've got that build up as well, which is somewhat stalled out on Lewis, but going for the full Kaio Sange. And again, just the durability you'll get, the willingness to jump into the front line is massive. Look at this creep army from the Enchantress and the Beastmaster. It's massive. What do you do to stop this?
Not much. Not much. They'll glyph up. That'll do the job.
Their structures. Cowards.
What's the back for now? Execration, maybe just wait out the next wave. I'll stop the net worth board. A very different game here for the Conquer. They stay screwed the T2 tower. Let's just go Roshan. Why not? B team certainly not in a position where they want to try and force any fights. So the first Roshan of the should freely be going the way of Execration. Probably onto Lewis, but I wouldn't even mind Tino in fairness. I think in fact maybe Tino's the better option.
Could be. He's been the more susceptible target. Although I do feel like having the Aegis on Lewis does allow him to play that aggression that he loves to play. And yeah, it's just a safety net for the Storm. We'll have that backup now. The BB team, and they're doing a fine enough job of dodging, but you can't stop the push at this point. With the secondary life, with the creep army still around as well from CML, and that build-up from Tino. No fourth fight anytime soon. You will be able to find these tier 2s. Top was already taken away earlier on. Mid set to fall, at least once the creep wave catches up. BB team, and this is the weakness of the draft this time around. You don't have that quick farm coming in for pure. And it is just harder and harder to kind of find that space to get things going. The Radiance is up, it's a start, but you're not fully set yet.
They're looking to knock on tier 3 towers here, Execration. Radiance is one thing, but is it going to be enough to defend this? They'll bring in squad, BB team. Slowly starting to chip away at the HP pool of Tino. Half HP on the tier 3 tower already. Trying to at least get the dominated creeper, and they do get it. That's one problem gone. They may have just gone back to find another, and he does. It's not going to be that simple. I mean, maybe if you can find this next ancient creep, it might be enough to force him back. Execration's still looking to get the move. That tier 3 tower. Almost there. Terrorized, being pump faked, won't come out. They'll find the dominated creep again. That should be enough.
This waiting, they've done enough damage on that tier 3 with very little commitment. Down to 500 HP. It's a lot of usable space for a BB team. If you've got some room to roam more pure, you've got some room to, again, keep that build up here on Miero. And if you consider just the difference between this and game 1, it's just that there's much more coming out from the other Execration cores. Again, we're getting that early impact from Tino. We're getting that early impact from Palos in comparison to his
GPK being caught. Terrorize going to land as well. Kill for Execration. Here we go again. Mid T3 tower. A lot harder to defend when you haven't got GPK up. Mind you, he does have buyback, but committing buyback 90 minutes into the game to defend it, it's going to feel so ugly.
It feels awful. You don't want to have to do that. I'm just wondering how BB team actually decides to play, because there is a lack of initiation. Maybe if you get a blink up here on save, Blink Hex, Shackles can kind of simplify things, but for now it doesn't feel like there's follow-through for when GPK actually finds some good chain gang going. One set of racks down, another to go, and there's just nothing clear presenting itself here.
Zip in, Lewis looking to find save in pretty big danger. Repel the Mira gonna save him for now. Here comes GPK with the respawn. Pure is here as well, infested in the Prowler. They'll find CML to start. Looking for Lewis now. Pure just chasing them down, catching as a creep. They'll find Tino. Lewis though, he's gonna jump in again, trying to go after GPK, but Croker! These dark Crocus, Jonathan! GPK's alright! Here comes Lewis. He'll finish off the job. He needs to get out. He needs to get out, Lewis. Or does he? Save. Being jumped in an instant hex. Lewis will regret that choice, as he will go down. Oh, these Crocus, John. What are we going to do about this frog problem?
No, you got 11 live. You know, they're just doing their job, spawning. It's just a way of nature. You don't want to have to disrupt the ecosystem. You're playing in their area. They have the right to be mad. And Execration have to be a little bit upset about that prolonged engagement not quite panning out. Look, they managed to get some decent value from the Aegis if you didn't die again on Lewis, but they do the damage on the mid.
Here we go.
And again, they just overextend just a tad bit. Lewis gets ahead of himself, trying to look for that front while the respawn of GPK coming in. And when the chain gang hits, it's out of control.
You realize how dominant this game is. If BB team start making a comeback now, that Croker might be the MVP. Look at this. Here we go. GPK jumps in. Tino looking for the raw, does get it. And oh, everyone's stunned as they're fighting again. GPK on a team, can't finish the job, but they're on a Palos now. Palos dropping low, should go down and does. Not a good fight at all for Execration, but they're going to keep going. It's Tino now dropping as well. He'll take safe finally. But it's the thing with this Shaman pick. It just takes so fine to deal with save. Now BB team, they're back in the game.
They are evening it out, 14 to 14, 1K to lead or less than 1K lead coming after BB team. And for Execration, that's just, again, forced fight after forced fight. You don't have, you do have some protection, but Paolo's going on the BKB, the chain stunts are coming in. Because of that last, you have the blink on 8. And we were talking about that lack of initiation on BB team outside of the chains. Now that the Shadow Shaman can initiate as well, looking for these opportunities isn't too difficult for the side of BB team. Execration have to be cautious. That single target control, the nuisance of Shadow Shaman with that foul play on hand, it's causing problems in game 1, it's causing them problems here in game 2, and they've got to find a way to deal with it.
Shame as well, just a dominant start to the game, but now Miero top of the net worth. Pure catching up very, very quickly, and Execration not feeling quite as confident as they once did. The BB team. And Pure going right for the Aghanim Scepter as well on the life stealer. Make life very difficult. You know, we'll pick up the full AC on the Beastmaster, so they could hope to smoke up and maybe try again. It looks like they may. It's also now having an Orchid up. It's just this Shaman. Just so hard to deal with every fight. The thing is, you've got to deal with it.
Yep.
You can't let him live.
No, it's too much control. Again, Lewis has been trying, but it's only really Lewis. You can't afford to really have Palos or Tino caught out like that. The moment you lose, especially your Beastmaster here, your control, it's still somewhat there, but it's not as reliable. You need that roar, you need that burst window opening up for Lewis. And you just need to find a way. Roshan's still a minute away as well until we see that respawn timer come in. Still at least have that map advantage here. For the side of Execration, look, their tier 1 mid is still standing, tier 1 top. Both Bs are still very healthy as well. They're in no way of losing map control, but if you drop this next fight, it could be awkward.
It could be very awkward. BB team, let's see if they can do it. If they can pull off this fight. Execration, they'll move in. They've done okay already. They're just trying to lock him down for everything but the kitchen sink, but they haven't really got the kill yet. GPK, he survived all of it. Lewis is down. There's no damage. There was 0 damage. And with that, that is another lost team fight. BB team now well and truly in control of this game too. What happened there? They just threw everything at him and nothing happened.
They threw everything and forgot that there's an Omni in the game. The arrow's nearby. It's just inside of the trees. I'm surprised Execration made that move. Because they know the issues with the Omni Knight. They know the issues with the save coming in. They know the issues with the Shadow Shaman inside as well.
Radiant's
And
middle
this
tower
goes
used
all
to be
in without a BKB, without any debuff immunity, and just get stunned in the backline once more. Look at that movement. Very forced onto the Ember. Everyone else hanging in the right spot from BB team, and it all just falls apart.
And Palos down as well, apparently, in the meantime. Naomi securing that one, and it's the thing we saw last game, like this Shaman Omni. It's the combination of these two is just devastating. You want to kill the Shaman? Not only has he got the innate, the foul play, but he's got repel from an Omni Knight, he's got Guided Angel, he's got Hiddles coming through.
So annoying.
It's a really, really yucky combination to have to play again.
It's so annoying. You can see why. Again, you know, Shadow Shaman's probably one of the most annoying heroes to play up against right now. This entire kit just made to really piss you off for the most part. And you're seeing it here. Execration's starting to get a little bit jumpy, starting to get under pressure, trying to look for these opportunities. And now they lose the lead fully. 6K up for BB team. They can control Shaxis at this point. They've set up that control on the triangle. They can cut off Execration quite hard in this game. And for Exe, it does feel like again we're getting to the point where a lot of your damage is mainly on Lewis. Then right, it's down to the Storm. It's down to him to just jump into the back, try to kill someone off, try to get this BKB timing going. You've got your own BKBs coming in here on BB team. See to move out smoke. this could be one. If you win the fight into Roshan, you stay in this game for Execration.
No, it's certainly so. It'll be hard now, BB team. Certainly the stronger team in this game too at this stage. With lane, Palos going to show. PK with an damage rune. Going to be spotted. Rune up as well. Ramiero's right behind him. We've seen this before. He won't make the jump. Posturing, trying to find the right targets. I mean, again, you've got to find Miero, you've got to find Safe. And when it's not even just one of them. Kind of both.
It does. Easier said than done. Again, most of your initiation right now is just Lewis. So he has to be the one committing. And it's such a massive risk. Like, you don't have a blink up on Dino, he's going back for it.
High ground, they've got the vision. EML not looking too good. GPK happily moving in. Take out one. Tino also caught. They'll try to have a fight here. Kanomi, he'll go down. But Tino looks like he's about to follow his Palos. Trying to fight Pure, but he does no damage to the Kunkka. He'll move on to Save instead. Save maybe finally goes down, but his job is done. He's happy to die in this instance. Meanwhile, Lewis trying to zip TP away will make it out. Did actually buy back on Save for this team fight. Not the worst overall fight at all here for Execration. It did have a 2-for-2 trade, still favorable for the BB team.
It's a little bit risky for Execration at this point. They buy back only on CML, but that Ench, they need that Enchant up.
I mean, they did buy back on CML, John. Problem is, he's going to also die back.
Yeah. It's a big window where you don't have to worry about, again, that Dispel on hand, trying to find some openings. The Enchantress was a pretty darn good idea. We've got the opening for Roshan now on the side of BB team, and Execration, we're seeing the issues. Again, without a BKB on Lewis, it's harder for him to kind of commit. You are lacking damage right now out of Storm. You need a BKB up as well on Tino. Still a long ways from finding that. Full axe done now on Pure, so more uptime for Infest. Having that vehicle, you know, just being able to keep up with someone with a Radiance burn on as well. It's going to be a lot of output here to play with. And a secondary life as well. I don't know where you're going to find these solutions here from Execration, but they've got to find them fast if they want to, again, get a draw here.
Catch. Another free kill. Shanks will go down. Pure picks up an Aegis for himself in the meantime. 6 advantage now for BB team. Pure. The Ancient. This is how you farm on life still these days, John.
Yeah.
Lewis, gotta say hello. Not much you can do about it. We'll just zip TP away.
No, it's getting a little bit scary for Execration. Again, the shortcomings from game one kind of rearing around here once more. A lack of damage, need for BKBs, like Palos is going full utility. Sanjay and Yasha up. I don't know if you can hope for damage to come in from him later on. Tino still a ways off from that full BKB as well. And so is Lewis. Without that deep immunity, you're always just going to get pinned down by Save. He has just been so on point across both games in locking in that Storm and locking in any key movement from the side of Execration.
Big boy, choosing to take the tower from himself now.
That's your solution for control. It can help. You can't underestimate just a little bit of a stun and what it does in the middle of a fight if you manage to catch multiple. It's just not going to be enough. You know, it might stall out. You might give Lewis a window if you time it right. But in terms of setting up for your own kill, a 1.4-second burst window just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough with your damage output at this point.
I highly doubt it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is
getting somewhat invincible now as the life stealer. You've gotten to the stage where it's going to be a lot of effort to try and kill this man. And you've got to do it twice at the moment, as we are going to have a 20-man smoke from BB team. Based on the EML in the mid lane. Bottom lane looks like there is this smoke rotation heading towards. He's been rooted in place. He gets hexed up by Save. He's gone again. Shanks is not making it out either. It was there.
It's a rough one. Again, without that debuff immunity coming out for Lewis, there's just no security. At least he's starting to get that gold build up. He's not going to have buyback if he will commit for that BKB. So you're still in a very awkward spot for Execration. For the BB team, it's a matter of just riding this game out. Like, there's no pressure to end the game too quickly here. on the side of BB team. You know you've got scaling. You know your matchup into the Kunkka's pretty fine for the Life Stealer. And you've got a lot of output still left. Like you can start to transition into more damage now from Yarrow. Starting to work it into the Yasha. Your siege might not be as quick as Execrations is, but you have so much durability that chances are Exa just can't find an angle in anyhow. No outer towers left for Execration. Still a lot of time left on the Aegis. 2 minutes up. A siege just coming in here. The BB team.
As it is. We'll start from the mid. The ball dropped already. Alex is pushing out the top lane in the meantime. T3 tower top is going to go down. Palos not seeing the opportunity to really force a fight. Lewis, meanwhile, just creep skipping while he can, trying to buy the top for Palos to get through that top lane of barracks. Meanwhile, Pure looking to chase down some heroes, but doesn't quite get there. Look to retreat back to Warp. The Rats, they do still have that siege creep. Cardi's still there. You've got the Roshan banner. Palos almost done with the top racks, but not quite yet. Oh, still going. Gonna find the bottom racks. Palos now needs to be a little bit careful, but he does find the melee barracks. But here comes the side of BB team. They will punish him for this play. Palos, at some point you had to know what was coming.
Yeah.
You still get something for you, at least an even trade.
Yeah, no, it's still a better situation for Execration. Oh, and mid-on.
Tino forced the BKB run. Crocus. Very nice. That's about it. BB team. I'd even start heading back towards the bottom lane, honestly. It seems like they just want to remain on this high ground while they still have the Aegis up on Pure. Mind you, the Aegis about to expire in 40 seconds, but they could commit for another T3 if they really want. Assuming they have a creep wave, that is.
I mean, again, there's nothing holding them back, really. Aegis is about to expire half a minute, but I don't think you're even concerned right now in Pure.
They're nothing for a Vortex, but Lewis taking so much damage. Tino now, overwounded up, trying to run. Orchid's out, they'll use up the Life Stealer, but the chain's going to lock down Tino and he's gone. No buyback on Lewis or Tino. And BBT. Look, they should just be able to put a lid on this game if they want to. It is not. Without those two cores up, it's hard to see a proper defense to come. As now CML will also go down. No buyback for him either. Literally Palos and Shanks against the world. You are the tier 4 towers. Try to play this one out. See if they can buy the time for at least Tino to be back up. Jump it again, Miero now finding Palos. Palos getting chained up. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Might be time to call it, and there you go, they do. BB team, they do successfully pull off the 2-0 victory here today.
Yeah, I mean, again, it looked pretty clean again for BB team here towards the later part of the game. I think game 1 was a little bit more back and forth in the late game. The one thing here in game 2 for Execration, the early game was a lot cleaner. Right? Like they did manage to play very strongly here. They did manage to, fix up the draft. I think they had this idea with the Enchantress as a solution to all the saves that you get from the Omni Knight. They were, again,